Wes Wyatt. Looks like those temperatures headed towards record territory and higher rain chances in the forecast. We'll show you in the long range.
And tourism doesn't stop just because summer is over. We're taking a look at how a place that really lights up for the winter weather for tourism is getting ready for what they hope will be a very busy winter season. Plus, Matt has an update on the fall colors, and we're taking a look at some of the pictures you're sending in through the First Alert Weather app.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
All right, welcome into the Weather Extra. And speaking of fall colors, Tania, here on Red Mountain, it's been quite a show already.
I mean, everywhere. When I drive through downtown Birmingham, I'm just in awe. It's my favorite season.
It certainly is. This is the time. This is the big fall show. It's happening right now, but we're going to check back in with Matt coming up. Tania, one of the big things I want to jump right to is we've been talking a lot about the air quality. That's been a big issue here with all the fires that have been happening around the state. Yesterday, it was low relative humidity, and even though today winds shifted around from the south, that gusty wind was a big factor. Dew points are still low down into the 50s, but this is the view right now from Red Mountain. Well, I want to show you a picture I captured last night when I left the station late last night. And look at the smoke across the city. And what's going on here is the smoke is being trapped by an inversion layer. You hear us say cap a lot. We talk about severe weather. We talk about temperature inversions. And what's going on here basically is it's closer to the ground. The temperature, well, it cools very rapidly. So as that happens, the air above is a little bit warmer. So what happens? It traps that layer of smoke. And then you get into the morning like today, and all that smoke's out there, and it has an impact on the air quality. Now, with the wind in the forecast, we figured that would really mix out a lot of that, so that's why we didn't call First Alert Weather Day. But still, as we look at the air quality map right now, there's still some concerns because we've got some of these fires that, well, quite a few of those still happening around the state. Now, a lot of these are contained, but you can see it's having moderate risks there on the air quality for central and the areas to the north, but it's not in the hazardous or extremely unhealthy range, as you can see there. So again, that's why at this point we're just below First Alert Weather Day level. But as we look ahead, weather headlines, we're talking about the air quality, wildfires next couple days, but the humidity coming up, that's going to help us out there with fighting some of those blazes going on. Record warmth possible, highs near 80 degrees. That's a big weather story for us. Rain's coming back on Friday. It's a chance for scattered showers and storms that will carry over into Friday night. Could be some impacts with respect to the playoff games and then into Saturday morning. And then next week, rain impacts for travel. Looks like next Tuesday and Wednesday, a system that will bring rain and possibly some thunderstorms. So we got to watch out for that. Again, tonight, the temperatures have improved. You can tell it's feeling milder with that south breeze. Winds will stay out of the south and shift around more westerly later tomorrow. But temperatures in the 60s, not a huge drop off this evening with those temperatures. But tomorrow we're back up to near 80 by the afternoon. That would be record levels later in the day, and you can see the wind out of the west to southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour for our Wednesday. But looking at the forecast radar data with this south flow coming back, we're gradually seeing those moisture levels building back in here. Notice tonight the clouds will start to build in. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, you look outside, there's probably going to be a lot more early morning clouds around to start the day. But you can see that into the morning hours, there's a little bit of rain to the north. So there's a chance, far northern areas, we might see an isolated shower tomorrow. This is showing 6 a.m., maybe a passing shower around Cherokee County. But the models in general have been suggesting mainly along and north of the 278 corridor. So that's why we kept a 20% chance for a shower in there tomorrow. So it's a low chance. The next best chance of rain we'll be talking about coming up on Friday. So we'll be having more on that. Right now, want to go to Megan, who's taking a look at what goes into the air quality index.
Earlier this morning, if you stepped outside, you could smell the smoke, and that is from the various wildfires that have been in play across central and north Alabama. It also has impacted the air quality. Now, since this morning, we fluctuated between that moderately unhealthy to code orange, which during the 9 o'clock hour of extra, Jefferson County got up to a code orange. Now, it didn't last long enough to create an actual alert, but it is something to play in part, especially when we head into this evening and even in tomorrow tomorrow, where the air a bit stagnant at times, and it can cause, again, some air quality issues. So what is the air quality index? 0 to 100, you range between good and really moderate. It's anything that's over 100, 101 to 300 plus just means that it's unhealthy for sensitive groups to spend long period of time outside. So once we get into that code orange, we will have your first alert and pass that along to you. What goes into reducing the air quality? Well, you've got ground level ozone, particulate pollution, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide. Layman's terms, that means your exhaust from your car, also includes greenhouse gases and those big power plants. That can all play in part in reducing air quality. In addition to that, smoke from wildfires. Typically, in some years, we've seen the Canadian wildfire smoke impact our air quality. Well, today and probably into tomorrow, we'll be dealing with the possibility of some smoke at the surface. We've been watching this one fire that is contained outside of Renfro over the last 24 hours. It's in Talladega County, and with the wind direction overnight tonight, we could see places like northern Talladega, Calhoun County, Cleburne County. You all could be waking up to smoke tomorrow morning as well. In fact, there are other potential wildfires that are contained, still going on back into places like Dallas County. Those would eventually move into places like Prattville and Pine Level. Southern Chilton County, you also may wake up to smoke tomorrow morning. So this is your first alert to make sure to check in with the First Alert weather app before you head outside early tomorrow.
And welcome back, First Alert Chief Meteorologist Wes Wye, as we check out the current air quality. As Megan was just talking about, you can see a noticeable improvement over earlier today, but tonight the temperatures have certainly improved. I want to take you over to some currents. We'll just pick a few locations here. Tuscaloosa right now, you can see right there around Northport and T-Town, 68 degrees. Over towards Gordo, 68. Jasper to Carbon Hill, upper 60s. Not far from Winston County there, feeling those milder 60s. And even the East Alabama, Alexandria, Ohatchee, Raglan right now in the mid 60s. So we'll take it, and the milder temperatures will be around for the morning. The afternoon tomorrow, highs closer to 80 degrees. But if you're heading out to check out Magica Lights, that Magica Lights forecast showing temperatures there again 8, 9 o'clock cooling off into the 60s. But we'll talk a lot more about the weekend and that next big chance for rain. We've got some high resolution data, more specifics on timing for Friday. That's all coming up. But right now, let's get a little check if maybe you want to check out some fall colors this weekend. Here's Matt with an update.
Well, one of my favorite things about this time of the year here in Alabama is the fall colors that we're seeing. And some of you have been sending in those photos and videos like this one through the WBRC First Alert weather app. This is in the Smoky Mountains. And I just love just driving in areas like this and being able to see these beautiful fall colors. This is a video sent in from Ginger White. So if you got photos and videos like this, go ahead and take a picture of it, video of it, send it to us through the WBRC First Alert weather app. I'd love to show it right here on Weather Extra, and I know Mickey will probably love it too because he'll show those pictures as well tomorrow. Let's talk about the fall colors. Where do we normally see the peak of fall colors here in the state of Alabama? This is just an average from 1991 to 2020. So in yellow, usually we start to see the peak in the northern half of the state in early November. The southern half as you go into mid-November, and then towards the Gulf Coast, late November. So we're right now, and let's show you what it looks like when it comes to what we're observing across the country. Well, most of the country, they've already reached their peak colors, but it's mainly the southeast dealing with those beautiful colors. So notice in red, we are showing peak color at this moment. So now's the time because the leaves are already falling. It's going to create a headache. I know it's going to be a headache in my yard just cleaning it all up over the next several weeks. And as you go down towards Chilton County, Nakusa County, you're seeing the high colors. You're about to hit that peak very soon. And towards Montgomery and points to the south, we're seeing moderate colors. And then even up all the way far northeast Alabama near Huntsville, We've already passed peak. What about the forecast for the upcoming week? Well, as you can figure out, we're likely going to see past peak colors starting to develop across north and central Alabama, starting to include parts of Walker County, Tuscaloosa County, and St. Clair. And notice in red, that's where we're going to be at our peak from Birmingham all the way down towards Montgomery. So once again, now's the time we take advantage of those beautiful fall colors, because you know sooner or later they're just all going to be on the ground and you're going to have to blow the leaves. So when it comes to doing a forecast on figuring out when to blow those leaves and clear out your yard, we're looking pretty good for tomorrow and even as we go into Thursday. But as you know, we got rain chances again for Friday and Saturday, so you may want to wait, especially Friday going into Saturday, but Sunday looks pretty decent at the moment. So good luck with all the yard work, but hey, the beautiful part about it, we get to see these beautiful fall colors.
Explore the wonders of weather with Weather in the Classroom. Scan the QR code now to help your kids soar to new heights with Soar with 6.
Multiple landslides triggered by heavy rain have killed at least 7 people in the central highlands of Vietnam. A landslide covered a bus that was traveling on a mountain pass just Sunday. 6 people were killed and 19 others were injured. Another landslide killed 1 person, while another person is still missing. Heavy rains are drenching central Vietnam, which was just hit by Typhoon Kalmagi. Rain is expected to reach between 12 to 24 inches through tomorrow, and some areas may see close to 3 feet of rain. And more than 300,000 of Filipinos are protesting corruption when it comes to projects to protect the country from flooding. It was recently revealed Thousands of flood defense projects for the country were incomplete, substandard, or didn't even exist. Construction company executives, government engineers, and public work officials were forced to testify. Lawmakers and officials from the Public Works Department allegedly took bribes from construction companies in order to secure lucrative contracts and avoid accountability. Two typhoons that hit the country recently left at least 259 people dead. Federal forecasters say the climate pattern known as La Niña will dominate winter weather this season. La Niña is a climate pattern characterized by cooler than average ocean water in a region along the equator in the tropical Pacific. It's the opposite of El Nino, which is marked by warmer seawater. Forecasters expect a warmer winter for the southern U.S. as well as California and much of the East Coast and Florida. The Northern Rockies and Great Lakes region are forecast to get a good amount of snow and rain, while here in the South, well, the forecast is to see a drier than average winter. And I know we've been talking about potential record warmth over the next couple of days, so why don't we enjoy some snow? This is a video showing parts of the Sierra Nevada mountains in California buried under snow. Just beautiful. I'm sure it's not fun all the time, though. A strong storm dumped several inches of snow across the various elevations on Monday, and more could be coming later in the week. The storm was welcome news to ski resorts, though, as they get ready to open up for the seasons. The resorts are hoping skiers and snowboarders will begin arriving on the slopes in the next few days. Count me in. I'm headed out to the Sierra Nevada. Well, it's not just California that's anxious to see the snow. In parts of Wisconsin, snowmobiles are really a big deal. So much that the winter months, the city, Eagle River, becomes the snowmobile capital of the world. Ryan Mariano shows us how one business is already preparing for the snowmobile season as it quickly approaches.
So snowmobiling in the winter really impacts, I think, most of the community businesses and tourists alike. It definitely draws people.
Chris Patricus has owned Trackside since 2018, and every year before the winter season, his business has added at least 100 new snowmobile vehicles and attire for locals and tourists that come for vacation or the weekends.
When the season kicks off and they actually open the snowmobile trails, then it becomes really busy. If you snowmobile up here, you will know that what snowmobiling is all about.
Bad winters cause revenue loss, however. When winters are mild and lack snow, the economy suffers greatly. A mild winter in 2023 through 2024 cost millions in lost revenue for businesses that depend on snowmobiling. But Patricus says that's just the cost of doing business.
On a good year, between Christmas and New Year's, it feels like a mini Black Friday at a Walmart here.
Nothing is certain now, but there is projected to be a lot of cold and snowy days this winter.
And I'm excited for this year, knowing that they're predicting a lot of snow and they're predicting cold, so we'll see. It's the snowmobile capital of the world. Why would you not want to ride, right?
All right, there was some model data came out today, and it was showing the possibility of seeing some snow the night of Thanksgiving, but it was just one model run. But needless to say, social media was on fire today with that possibility, but the models have backed off, and this is that time of the year where the long-range guidance is going to go back and forth. So whatever you see out there, be sure you check in with us, because we'll certainly bring you the first alert if we see anything that's real and reliable. But right now, what we are seeing is a south wind coming back, some more clouds, and maybe a couple of isolated showers for tomorrow. And what you're looking at, this is the Barron high-resolution model, so you'll see it here. This is some of the high-res guidance to give us a good idea of that next chance of rain timing-wise. So we're going to take it step by step. There's tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., mostly cloudy start, maybe an isolated shower or two to the north. So even this model's picking up on that same possibility. So we got the 20% chance tomorrow, also into Thursday. Morning lows rather mild, afternoon highs tomorrow and Thursday close to 80 degrees. And then we take it, there's 3 o'clock on Thursday. You can see maybe just a couple of showers. Most of us will stay dry. So a couple of very warm days. Look at Tuscaloosa and Centerville, 81 degrees out there. That is some very unseasonably warm weather for this time of the year. But then Friday morning, here we go. There's a chance starting in the early morning, we could start to see some scattered showers and storms lifting in from the southwest direction. And then you see it's not an all-day steady rain. I mean, here's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see it's scattered coverage. But there's a pretty good chance in that window between Friday morning, Friday night, that we're going to see more of this development out there. So hopefully a lot of locations will get at least a little bit of rain to settle the dust. But you can see that 6 o'clock Saturday morning, that's the best chance of rain. And after that, well, it's dry for the rest of the weekend. So if you do have plans, maybe taking some photos Sunday, doing some traveling, Sunday has trended drier. But next week, another system is on the way. So here's Thanksgiving week. This is Monday, looking good there for travel conditions on Monday, but this next system at the earliest looks to roll in on Tuesday. Not seeing a major risk of severe weather with this. Just need to keep an eye on it. This time of the year, these systems, they can change in a hurry. So right now, it looks like Tuesday, maybe some storms. If we did see maybe some stronger storms, there were some signals earlier this week. South Alabama might see enough instability for some stronger storms. Just need to watch that. That would be Tuesday night mostly and end of the day on Wednesday. And after that, well, there could be another system as we get closer to Iron Bowl weekend. But just showing you here, the higher rain chances come back Tuesday night and Wednesday. So if you are traveling Monday, you're in good shape. It's going to be just before Thanksgiving and maybe some leftover showers into the morning on Thanksgiving Day. But at this point, Thanksgiving looks like highs in the 60s, but it's one of those days where we might see some cooler air moving in, so those temperatures could fall by the afternoon. And then, of course, I mentioned that Iron Bowl Saturday. We'll keep a watch on that in the long-range forecast. So rain chances most likely by Friday with those scattered showers and storms in the short term. Again, record warmth next couple days. Still a high fire danger across the state, so keep that in mind. I would avoid burning with these extreme drought conditions. Saturday, we wake up to clouds, a few scattered showers. Rest of the weekend looks dry. Still warm during the day, very comfortable, but notice by Monday morning, there's a chance we'll dip into the upper 40s in some areas. We'll get a slight cool down. There's a front that's moving in, and it stalls to the south, so that's why we have some leftover clouds and a chill there during the morning. But we start to warm up again as Tuesday and Wednesday approach next week, and again, we see that next chance for showers and storms. So, you know, we've been talking to Nia about more active pattern in the long range, and it certainly looks like the pattern becomes more active next week, but we're still trying to lock in on beyond Thanksgiving because it seems like the systems are just lining up in the long range forecast.
Yeah, Wes, this is exactly what I'm seeing, and it looks like some really, really cold air moving in as well, so we could see some cold snaps in the near future as we get ready to close out the month of November. So let's talk about it. Let's go beyond the 10-day, starting with November the 26th, and this is first looking at temperatures, and notice a surge of cold air dropping in just around Black Friday, November the 28th. We're seeing temperatures at around 4 a.m. in the low 40s, but possibly even colder as we approach early Saturday morning. That's the 29th of the month of November. We're talking about below freezing. So get ready to bring out the heavy coat. You're going to need it. More chilly mornings ahead beyond that, but I do want to walk us through some of the wet weather that we could possibly see as we get closer beyond the 10-day forecast, closer to the start of December. Real quick, this is December the 2nd, still seeing some near freezing temperatures here across central Alabama. But if we just switch sources here, you can see that some wet weather may follow us into the middle of next week. This is showing us November, I believe that's the 26th. Some wet weather moving across our area, and then possibly some breaks in time for Thanksgiving. So we'll keep our eyes on that. But beyond the 10-day, it definitely looks a little wet and a lot colder. So be sure to check in with us right here on First Look Weather Extra. We're back with more after the break.
You're watching WBRC 6 News, Alabama Broadcasters Association's Station of the Year.
All right, next few days here, we're going to have the record warmth, but some rain possible Friday. We need it.
We certainly do. We've got drought across the area, but hey, those fall colors have still been showing out. But let's first take a look at this picture out in Talladega County, a sunset. How beautiful is this?
Yeah, really shining because of that smoke in the atmosphere. You can see how it's really setting that off. Jackie and Jaleesa Muse for sharing that on the First Alert Weather app. And how about another sunset? This one looks like Pac-Man, thanks to a cloud. Appreciate Cynthia Clark sending us this photo. Just got to keep the ghosts away, right?
Always. You heard Matt tell us we're in the peak of fall color here in Central Alabama. And here's a good picture from Helena. Look at those colors of a sugar maple tree in the Appleford neighborhood.
Oh, those maples really show off. You get all the colors. You get the reds, the yellows, and well, we'll have more fall colors and hopefully a little bit of green on the screen here soon that we'll be talking about.
Yes, absolutely. We need it. We're talking more about it and giving you updates tonight, first at 9 and 10.